We've reached Vanderbilt Avenue, a 5-block street named after Cornelius Vanderbilt, who owned the railroads and gave us Grand Central. And you have to be careful on that part of 46 because that's where the Park Avenue Viaduct returns to ground level. And cars, after driving above and around and through buildings, shoot back out into Park. You still feel relatively safe, but if we were standing here in the 1870s, and we're not, we would likely be run over by trains. This area at the time was known as Death Avenue. This was part of the train yard just north of Grand Central Depot, where the trains emerged out of the largest train shed in the world, and someone was killed here every other day in the early 1870s. This is a city where people refused to walk to the corner to cross the street, so they would cross here, braving the 85 trains a day coming out of that shed. Now there are 660 Metro North trains a day, but you wouldn't know it. When they replaced Grand Central Depot with Grand Central Terminal, they electrified the trains and were able to hide everything completely underground. With the trains hidden and no smoke puffing up the avenue, the area became desirable real estate. During the first part of the 20th century, the buildings were mainly hotels and apartment buildings 12 to 16 stories high. But during the second part of the century, this part of Park Avenue became an office district with the office boom of the 1950s and 60s. Think of the Lever House and the Seagram building. It's a beautiful avenue which includes the Waldorf Astoria and St. Bartholomew. We'll definitely do a Park Avenue tour in the future, but back to 46th Street. Capo di tutti capi Salvatore Maranzano hired Vincent Mad Dog Cole to kill Lucky Luciano and Vito Genovese. But they got word of it, and right here on September 10th, 1931, they killed him instead. But I don't like talking about mobs. It's not polite. Listen, you never know who. Think of the Lever House and the Seagram building.